Look, I'm just saying that if I looked like Gadok Teague, I'd probably kill myself. It's like bad 80s porn star meets high school shop teacher. It's been a while since we last talked, so let's get moving. Before we get to the actual meat and potatoes of the show, I'd like to update you on what's been happening with me. This is where you press the pause button and wait for the red bar to load so that you can skip past this. You've had plenty of practice with the magic show. Evan's talking with those guys he drafts the cube with. I guess I'll go make a sandwich. For those of you who care, I actually got a new job at blackborder.com where I will be reviewing articles and posting short reviews. Add to this the fact that people have started sending me messages on how to improve their deck on TCG Player and on YouTube, and I'm getting the feeling that the Magic community seems to think I know what I'm doing. Please, Magic community, if you want to improve your deck and become a better Magic player, I am not your man. Now, if you want to hear inane comments and hear self-congratulating egomaniacal Magic personalities get their due, then that's a different story. You have come to the right place. I don't get it. I'm so obviously untalented and underqualified, and yet somehow I keep convincing people that I'm not only worth listening to, but that I'm worth hiring. I'm like the William Shatner of Magic websites, without the cult following. Or the hairpiece. In other Magic news, the Pro Tour happened a few weeks ago. Does anybody care? Anybody? Other than the flood that canceled the first day of the event, it's a sign. It's saying we need to have a natural disaster for people to care about Extended. Was it Dredge failed to make the top 8? Awkward. That isn't to say that the impact of Dredge wasn't felt. Most everyone's 75 included some combination of Tormod's Crypt, Leyline of the Void, and Yixlith Jailer out of the board. Still, Flash Hulk had a lot of hype, and had the same grave hate, but it seemed to do pretty well, as I remember. Maybe it just wasn't meant to be for Dredge. Dear William Spaniel, sorry it didn't work out. Get well soon. Love, the main phase. So States also just happened, and I went 5-3 like I always do. Here in Ohio, Adam Yurchik won with a version of Pickles. A friend of mine and I looked at the list after the tournament, and he made an interesting observation. I feel like this deck loses to everything. A sentiment which I echoed. The deck looks like it loses to everything. Then Paul Cheon won Grand Prix Krakow. Shows what I know. I want to end today's episode with everyone's favorite 2-mana 6/7 creature. Seeing as every deck you play against for the next 2 years will have 4 copies of Tarmogoyf in it, I'm surprised more people don't know the rules. 1. Tarmogoyf retains its stats even when it isn't in play. This means that if you cast it, you can go looking for another one with Wild Pair and other neat stuff like that. Admittedly, this interaction is pretty minor, and will probably only pop up when you're playing against Breakfast and someone casts a Sutured Ghoul the size of Randy Buehler's jowls. That guy's got neck meat like Roger Ebert. It's a good thing he's getting into the Hall of Fame this year, because next year his head might not fit on the plaque. He looks more like the guy on Dark Confidant every time I see him. Not Bob Marr, the other one. Yeah, the other one. More importantly than retaining its stats while it's out of play, is this interaction. Remember, we were talking about Tarmogoyf? Okay. And I've seen far too much of this, so please pay attention. Let's say your opponent just cast a Tarmogoyf and there are no cards in the graveyard, and you cast Tarfire on it. Does it die? I'll give you a second to think about it. Ready with your answer? The Goyf doesn't die. I'm serious. Here's how it works. Tarfire will deal Goyf 2 damage. As part of the final step of its resolution, Tarfire will go into the graveyard. After this, state-based effects will be checked. At this point, Tarmogoyf will be a 2/3 creature, so the 2 damage stuck on it will not kill it. I am still serious. You would not believe the number of people who have quit Workstation in the middle of me typing that last sentence. Goyf doesn't die. State-based effects. WTF! Here's how it works. Tarfire will deal the Goyf 2 damage. Noob, 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 you're a noob. Close window. You get my drift. I'd like to point out that in this situation, shock is actually better than Tarfire, and one of the biggest fans of shock on the planet. I have to say I'm pretty happy about it. That's all for this episode, folks. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, 10-cent commons beat $10 rares every single time. Carl Perkins Cadillac. Hi, Mr. Buehler. I'm sorry for making fun of you so much in today's episode. I'm sure you're a nice guy and all, but, you know. I think I've made myself clear.